Alright, so this video is on how to texture your character. So I'm just going to start with what we have here, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so let's just, in case you didn't already do it, you go to UV Editor. You should already have the UVs done at this point. You can see my UVs are done. They could be better, I guess. Anyway, so then we're just going to go to Image, UV Snapshot, and I'm going to go Browse. And I'm going to make sure that, so I'm just putting where the file location is going to be. And let's see, Seahawk, and I'm going to put it to images. Images are what comes out. And then I'll just say out UV and save. Okay. PNG is the best file format for us right now. 2048 is fine. This is all fine. White's fine. Apply and close, and it will make a an image called OutUV at that folder that I told it. All right, so next what we need is to open up Photoshop, if you can spell it. There we go, Photoshop. Whatever version you got going on. So apparently 2018 is what I'm going to be opening. It's not really a whole lot different from the other ones. Come on, come on, come on. Gloriousness. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open that picture that we had before. So it should be Seahawk, and then images. Come on, and out UV and open. Okay. So by default, by default it looks like this, and you can't really see it very well. It is there if you look, but it's kind of hard to see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another. Let's rename this first. I'm just going to double click and just call it UV Snapshot, so I know what it is. I'm also going to lock it so I don't accidentally mess with it. And then I'll make a new layer. I'm going to put underneath. And I'm just going to call it like gray backdrop. Okay. Gray backdrop. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my paint bucket tool. And I'm just going to go ahead and do like a 50% gray. That way we start off kind of in the middle. And I'm just going to paint it there. And you should be able to see your stuff a little bit better now. Okay, so you can see, now I can see my my stuff here. Okay, huzzah. All right, so basically whatever I paint in here is what's going to show up over there. So what I like to do is I just kind of break it down into different colors, if you will. So I'm going to make another layer. And I'm just going to call this like primary colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brush here, and I'm just going to make sure it's all the way hard just so that I don't have to deal with anything there. And then I'm just going to paint the colors that I want it to be. So these are his pants. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this, make sure my flow is 100%. And we don't need these right now. And I'm just going to paint all of these like so. Okay. Alright, so I'm just trying to paint basically this island here. Alright, so let's make this bigger. I'm using the bracket keys to the right of the P key. That's how you change the size of the brush. You could also do it up in the toolbar over there. So there's one thing of the pants. Here's another one. And I'm just going to go like this. Okay. Yay. Like so. Okay. So he's got these tan pants. Now you might notice that, his fingers here and stuff like that. These are supposed to be green. I think this is his legs. I think that's yellow. Where's his arms? I think these are arms. So I would do that for that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's do like his leg color. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. Maybe go a little bit brighter. Okay. And I'm just going to say that this is going to be his leg color, this nice bright yellow. Now, I want to make sure that I'm not like it's okay that I'm overlapping this, but see how I'm not going into that one. I need to stay. There's going to be some overlap, but I don't want that to cut into the other one. So, control minus, minus, minus. All right, let's make this bigger now. All right, so we're just going to make sure like so, and then that's his feet, and I think he's wearing shoes, so there's probably, I think that's it. He also has a beak, which I think this is the beak. So I'm going to make that the same yellow. So here's part of his beak. Okay, and then over here, this, is that part of his beak? I'm not sure if that's part of his beak or not. This might be. Let's try that. See if that's part of his beak. This is why it's kind of better if you have it organized. I obviously do not have it organized very well. Then I'm going to go ahead and do, like, let's say that, like a kind of, like that. And this will be his feather color, if you will. So this will be his bird color. That's his hand anyway, so that can all be, I don't even know what this is, but we'll just paint it green. So I'm just kind of painting the whole areas in of things. I'm not sure what this would be. Oh, you know what? That's his shoes. That's what that is. That makes more sense now. Okay. So, but this is his head. So I'm going to make sure I paint this fine. Okay. That's all good. And I got to make sure all these fingers are painted. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and finish all these colors. You don't need to watch me do them all. And I'm going to do them all, and then I'll restart the video, and you'll see where we're at. Alright, so I finished painting what I'm going to call my primary colors, what have you, right? I'm not 100% sure they're even correct, so we're just going to say that that's good. Now, what you're going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and save this, so File, Save As, File, Save As. And you're going to go to Seahawk, or whatever your project folder is, and you're going to save it in source images. And what I want you to do is just call it care, right? Character, or character if that helps. Master. Character master texture, we'll say. Okay. And just call it a PSD, right? So make sure it's a PSD so that it has all of your layers and all that stuff in it. Then save. Now, we don't actually hit OK. And then we don't actually want to use that on the project. The reason being is that if you use it on the project, it's gonna we're gonna use this to paint multiple textures. And if we use it on the project, what'll happen is it for one, we'd have to make multiple PSDs for each one of them. And also, PSDs are pretty large files. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to export out just a PNG. So now, with this still selected, what I'm going to do now is turn off the UV snapshot, because I don't want that part. Otherwise, it'll actually draw the UV snapshot, I'm clicking, on top of it, which is not what you want. So I'm going to turn that off first. And then I'm going to do File, Save As. Okay. And this time, you're going to choose PNG. And I want you to save, actually, you know what, don't do PNG, let's do JPEG. Okay, which isn't really a great color, but whatever. And we're just going to call it character color map. Okay, so this is going to be our character color color texture. All right, and then we'll hit save. And that's fine, hit OK. All right, now we're going to go back to Maya. And in here, we're going to want to bring that in. Okay, so right now it has this Lambert on. What we need to do is, I'm just going to close this. Okay, it has this Lambert on. What we need to do is a couple things. We need to apply a new material to it. So let's go to this. This is the Hypershade. Or you go to Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade. And we're going to create a new material. So you'll see we have a bunch of different materials here. Just go ahead and click on Blend. Blend will show up here. And I just want you to rename it character underscore MAT. Okay, so that way it's the character and it's their material. And what we're going to do is on the color channel here, I'm just going to hit the little thing here. That means it's going to link it to something. Click that. And I want to link it to a file. And then I'm going to hit this little folder here. And it should go right to my source images folder. If it doesn't, that means your project folder is not set up correctly. And then you'll see character color map. And I'm going to hit open. Okay, so now you can see that material has it on there, but the material is not on my guy yet. So to do that, you can middle mouse button, click and drag it onto the guy, or you could click on the guy, right click, and hold and go assign material selection, or you could right click over top of the guy and go assign existing material, and choose it this way. Any one of those ones will work. Okay, so now we can see that we have the texture on here. Now what I want you to do after this is to look to see if there's any screw ups, and I can see that there is, right? So I can see, oh, this area is not right. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close this. So I painted this dark green when it should be this lighter green. So what I'm gonna do is just go to UV editor, and I'm just gonna look to see what part that is. So I'm just gonna go like face, select this face. Okay, so this right here is actually supposed to be the same color as this. So I'm just gonna go into Photoshop, let's turn this back on so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm gonna, okay, I'm still on the brush. I'm gonna hold Alt to sample this color, and then click, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and paint this here. All right, all right, so that was one mistake. It's not going to update yet. I'm just, okay, let's see if there's any other issues. His hands look fine, looking all around. Come on. Middle mouse button clicking. There we go. It's a little bit of a hiccup there. See how like there's a little bit of something missing there? So I'm just going to go to edge. Let's select that edge and see where that goes. I'm just going to hit F over here. And where is it? I don't see it. Let's grab the UV and hit F. Is it there? Is that it? No, that's there. Is this it? No, that's that. Although those look like they're, yeah, see, so I didn't quite get overlap there. Oh, actually, it's right here. So you can see I just didn't do a good job painting. So like that's another thing I need to fix. I'm gonna go back over here, and hold Alt to sample this color, and I'm gonna Alt and then space bar, and I'm just gonna make sure I get all that and fix that up. All right, so look for things like that, and let's go back to object mode so I can see what I'm doing. And then down here I can see the tongue of the shoe here is also, it's supposed to be this color, so, or I could do black or something else, but that green doesn't make a ton of sense. I actually don't mind the green, but let's just imagine I wanted to fix that. So where is that? Ah, right here. So it's this one. So these two here also need, yeah, because if you look too, they're different colors. This one's lighter and this one's darker. That still doesn't work. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and paint these a different color. Let's paint them the same as the tan. That way it'll match. So I'm gonna paint this that tan color. That way it's a little bit different than the other thing. And where's the other one? Right here. Okay. All right. So I'll be happy with that. I'm going to hit Control S to save. That'll save the PSD. And then I'm going to go ahead and do File, Save As. Oops, actually, not yet. I'm going to turn off the snapshot so that I don't get the wireframe. And then I'm going to Save As. And I'm going to make sure I'm back on JPEG again. And I'm just going to click on that texture and just save over top of it. Yep. And OK. And then I'm going to go back to Maya. It's not going to show up in Maya until you do that. So you might, okay, so you can see I clicked on it and it updated. Sometimes it doesn't. It used to not. I don't know what they're doing now that makes it do it. But if it doesn't, you should be able to go to image. See, it used to be Update PSD Network. We're not doing a PSD Network. You could go to the material itself, character material, go like this, and then just hit reload. So go to the color. Like, okay, go to what the color is. It's this image that's attached. And you just hit reload, and it should reload the image for you. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what we'll call primary colors, right? So I have the basic colors of the character now. Now what I would do is like kind of secondary colors. So if I want to do like stripes on a shirt, or you know, details, or maybe like, I don't know, I might draw eyes on them, or nose holes or something, right? So what I would do is I'm going to turn this back on, and what I'm going to do is go down here and look at this stuff and be like, okay, Control++, and I'm just going to, like, I want to have nose holes. So I'm going to go like this really dark color, and I'm just going to draw like a nose here, like that, right? Or nose holes. This might be too big, I don't know. Control minus, and then maybe on his pants, maybe not on his pants. Maybe on his legs, right? They're usually like birds they're kind of like scaly looking. So maybe I'll do something where I'll paint a scaly thing. Maybe on his pants I'll do like, let's say, like a white stripe on either side. Okay. Like that. And then I'll do one over here. Okay. That looks like a thing. And then maybe on his shirt I want to have like maybe the Cecil logo or something. So let's go over here and let's look up like Cecil College logo and see if it comes up. Beautiful. Okay. All right, that wasn't what I was hoping for. Let's see. This one's good. So let's say I want to use this. So I'm just going to right click and copy image. Gonna go into here and let's go ahead and Control V, Control Z. Let's make a new layer above this one, and now Control V so I can move it around. So I'll hit V for the select, and I'm not sure which side is the front of his shirt. So I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna click on him, go to like face, just select something in there, and see where that is, which one that is. Okay, so this is the front and this is the back. Okay, let's go back here. So this is the top of it. So this is actually got to get rotated. So I'm gonna hit Control T. I'm gonna hold Shift as I rotate it. So it's, and then I'll just scale this down to something like that, right? And then on this one, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do multiply. So that way it gets rid of the white. Remember, it'll remove white and what have you. So anyway, now he's got that on his shirt. So I'll say that's good, and I'll save it again. Now I'd go through and do more with that, but I'd save it again. And then also turn off this, and again I'm gonna do Control Shift S because that's the same as hitting Save As. And then save over that, and we're gonna replace it. Okay, good. Go back to Maya. Hopefully it'll just update. Oh, so you can see this time it didn't do it, right? So I'm going to click on this and hit reload. There you go. And now you can see he's got Cecil College written on his shirt. Like, that's neato. And he's got these stripes on his pants. And aren't that great? Yay. Okay. So from there, I might add some nuance. Okay, so let's go back here. And let's say, I'm not going to do all of it, but just to kind of show you, let's say I'm putting UV snapshot on. Let's say I would like just some changes in the color. Okay, so let's just do that. We're going to just do, so I'm just going to call this shirt logo so I know what it is. And then I'm going to make this layer, and I'll call this variation, okay. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to add a little light and dark to everything. So I'm going to hold, make sure I got the brush tool on here. Good. I'm going to hold Alt and click to sample that color. Actually, I'm going to do this with the variation. Let's just call this, actually let's call this dark, and I'm just going to make it black, and I'm going to take the opacity down a whole lot. And we'll take the flow down a whole bunch, put opacity up more. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it super soft. Okay. And I'm going to take, and I'm basically going to just paint black in areas to just sort of darken some areas and lighten some areas. So like in his crotch, it's still a little much. Let's take the flow down even more, like 2%. Is that enough? Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of brush this area a little bit darker, and then right in here I'm going to brush a little bit darker. Okay, and here, all right, and then this I'm going to paint a little bit darker. And what I'm going to do is, besides this painting just black, I'm going to change this layer to multiply, because what that'll do, and I'm just going to paint a little bit darkness here because that's the top of his feet, and then we'll just do a little bit here. I'm going to do the same thing here, because naturally if you look at your clothes and stuff, you'll see that some areas are darker than others. The bottom of his feet obviously would be pretty dark. These are like the soles of his shoes. Where's the other one? There it is. So I'm going to kind of paint this a little bit darker. this is the underhand, so I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. Where's the other underhand? Here somewhere. There it is. This is his other underhand. And then maybe around his eyes, I'm going to add a little bit of darkness to it, just to kind of, and a little bit here. Alright, so just kind of adding a little bit of variation here. This is underneath his chin, so I'm just going to add a little bit there. And this is his shirt, so I'm just going to add some to the bottom and kind of across the back like that. Like this is, these are his shoulders, either side here. And then here I'm just going to kind of go around his belly, kind of. Okay. These are his shoes. Oops. Oh, not this way. There we go. And we'll just kind of, that's fine. Alright. And then this is his shirt. So I'm just going to make it a little bit darker right here, because I think this is the bottom underneath his arm. Would be right there. On either side of this. Okay. So this is under his beak, so under his beak would be a little bit darker. This is the under part of his beak. And this is the upper part, but I'm just going to kind of... Okay. And then I'll do another one, and I'll call this light. Okay, and this one, I'm going to choose white. And I'm just going to add where I want it to be a little bit lighter. So like this is kind of the top of his head, right here a little bit. Maybe underneath his, above his eyes, this is like his brow. This is the beak, so I'm just going to add a little bit on the top here of the white. And instead of, like this one was multiply, which adds only dark, I'm going to change this to screen, which will add only white. Okay, for the blending mode. And I'll just add a little bit of white on top of his shoes, here and here. And right here, I'll just add kind of a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of that. And then on his pants. Okay. Not doing a great job, but hopefully you get the idea. And then his legs. Just going to go ahead and put it kind of in the center here. Okay. And alright. And then the last thing I'm going to do is another one, and I'm going to call this rosiness. So for this, it's going to be like a really deep kind of reddish orange, like this kind of color. And the idea is that if you, like at your fingertips, at your nose, at your eyes, things where blood vessels come closer to the skin, it'll make him or her, depending on what your character is, it'll make them look more alive. If you add a little bit of pink to areas like that, so wherever there's kind of skin, I'm even going to add a little here, just kind of sprinkle it around. Okay. And that one, we're going to add just color, okay, because I just want to add the color of that one. All right, so I'm going to save that, Control S. I'm going to turn off this, do Control Shift S, all right, which is file save as, the same as that. And then I'm just going to save over top of the color again. Yep, and say OK. I'm going to go back to Maya, click on him, and it's going to open. So I'm going to make sure I go to the, you might be on Channel Box, just make sure you go to Attribute Editor. I'm going to go to the color, click on this, and hit reload. And I'll click off. And basically we add a little pre-shading. So you might notice like there's a little bit pink there, but there's a little bit dark underneath there. Underneath his chin's a little bit darker. It just pushes his colors a little bit. It might be kind of subtle. Let's do this real quick. I'm going to take the specular color all the way down so you don't see any shininess. And you can see, I don't know if you could tell, but see how like it's a little bit lighter in some areas. Like right here, I added darkness, so like you see like it's just a little bit darker there, a little bit darker there. Underneath the shoes, I added darkness because obviously that would be a little bit darker. Things like that. Okay, so that's just kind of like pre-shading is what we call that. Okay. So we'll say that that's good for that. Now what I'd want to do is this. Okay, so now you might want to add some texture. Okay. I'm going to take that and actually put it underneath primary colors. I'm going to take primary colors, and I'm going to go ahead and change that. Well, we'll leave it like that for now. So I want to put, let's just say like a jean texture on these pants. Okay. So to do that, I'm just going to go open up here, and I'm going to do jean texture. Okay. Go to images, and I'm going to find a nice jean texture. So we'll say whatever works. So there's seamless. Let's do seamless jean texture. That's even better. Okay. I'm going to grab this one because I don't feel like... Alright. And I'm just going to right click, and I'm just going to copy that. Go back in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control V to paste it. And actually, let's put it above for right now so I can see the stupid thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to move it over here. You might need to turn auto select on, because like watch, if I try to do auto select now, it might see how it accidentally, if you turn this off, it'll only select on the layer that you're on. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here, and it said it was seamless, so I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to go ahead and Control V again to paste, and put one here, Control V, and put one here, Control V, and then put one, cool, put one here. Okay, but you can see there's no seams on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab all three of these and just merge them, merge layers. So right click, merge layers, and then I'm going to duplicate this. So you can hit Command J or drag it down here, or right click, duplicate layer. And I'll take this one and we'll put this one over here. But I'm also going to rotate it so that it's in the same direction as that. So this should go like that. Okay. And I'll hit enter. Alright. And again, I'm just going to grab the two and merge those layers. And then what I want to do is this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put underneath primary colors, and you're not going to see it because I don't want it to be blue. I want to keep the color I have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the primary colors that I had before, and I'm going to switch it to color. And that's going to add just the color information. Now because I did that, this gray backdrop's not going to work anymore because it's making everything darker. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to use the paint bucket tool. Let's paint that white. And that makes no sense. Or actually, just turn it off. That actually works better. Okay. So now I got these textures in here. And now what I'm going to do is just use the eraser. And I'm going to erase it off of everything that I don't want it to have. Or I don't want it on. Because I want it on just the pants. So just make sure that it's not on any of the other stuff. So I'm just erasing the texture from everybody else. You don't have to do this step if you don't feel comfortable. Just showing you how it's done. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay, just make sure you get it off of everything. Great. So now it's just on his pants, but you see it's a little bit strong, so I'm just going to take the opacity and bring it down until I feel like it's... There we go. That looks okay. And now I'll save it again. Control S. I'm going to turn off this. Do Control Shift S to save as. Again, save a JPEG. Save over top of that one. Save. Yep. And OK. Go back here. Click on my guy. Click on him here. Hit this. Hit reload. And now you'll see he's got this nice like jean texture. Okay. And if you want to do that for a bunch of things, go ahead. And you can paint however you want. But that's the basics of it. There's also bump mapping, but we're going to leave that alone for right now. I'll show you that later. It's only going to work, though, if you add these bumpy textures. Okay? So this video is going to get too long. So that is how you're going to texture. Yeah, so that's it. So good luck.